we have to look not only at the value of economic choice, economic liberty, we have to also consider access to economic choice. In a free market economy, access to economic choice is very unequally distributed. Some people can choose to earn £1,000 in an hour or a day. Some people, if they want to make the choice to earn an extra £1,000, it's going to take a week or a month. So for me, there's still a very basic issue about equality in access to economic choice, which is a pretty clear dividing line, I think, between left theories of social justice, if you like, and free market theories. And I'm not sure John's theory as it stands really addresses that equality point.
But he's right, isn't he, that even ordinary people on quite low salaries are actually, despite all the efforts of social democrats over the years, they're quite interested really in just as hanging on to as much money as they can possibly have. So in that sense, it sort of chimes, doesn't it, with how people actually do react in our society.
Well, I'm sure that if you're in the bottom half of the income distribution, if you're suffering from real wage stagnation, which I think we've had in the UK since about 2003 and for much longer in the US, then you're struggling to make ends meet. And if the state comes along and says it's going to put more taxes on you, I can see why people on low wages wouldn't be happy with that. But I think at the end of the day, what we have to be interested in is an economic programme that lifts the real wages of people at the bottom and which improves the share of national income that's going to them, either through the primary distribution of income through wages or through tax transfers from those who are much better off. And we do have many people in society who are much better off. And I would see that not as contradicting economic liberty, but as being fundamentally about trying to equalise access to that economic liberty, to economic choice.
But he's got a point, hasn't he, John Tomasi, that an important element of this is that if your theory of justice is always about how something like the state can intervene to redistribute when it all goes wrong, there's sort of something wrong with that theory, isn't there?
Not at all. The state constructs the economic institutions under which we live, whether those are free market institutions or social democratic institutions. They're a product of concerted state activity. So the question for us as democratic citizens is always, what kind of structures do we want to collectively will through the state? Do we want to will laissez-faire institutions where some will do very poorly compared to others? Or do we want to will more egalitarian institutions where access to economic liberty will be much more equally distributed? So the state's always there. I don't think it's state anti-state. I think it's what kind of rules you want the state to enforce and what kind of distribution of opportunity you want the state to bring about.